What's cracking, everybody? James Koh here with you. We welcome you into Best Ball Live. This week, we are joined by the Fantasy Football Oracle. Can we still call you that? I'm not sure. From FTN, we got Freedman joining us today. What an interesting, story that you've had going on, I guess, over the past week, doing the whole journey through Waffle House. If you guys haven't seen his, we obviously know of Lee Sanderlin, but doing it for a great cause. Can you talk to the people before we get this whole thing started? Because we are waiting on one more person. But before we get this whole thing started, tell everyone, where they could find your work. And again, why you decided to go to Waffle House and eat 10 Waffle House waffles in 17 hours like a complete psychopath.
So you can find my work on Twitter at Matt F the Oracle, and obviously I'm at FTN Network. And it's a situation where about 2 months ago, when Lee Sanderlin was doing his thing, I put out a tweet thread saying, okay, this is, I think, the optimal way of doing the Waffle House challenge if you have to do it. But, in a skin in the game kind of way, I thought if you're going to put some ideas out there, you should at least be willing to put those ideas into practice. And so the tweet went viral. And so I said I would do it. And now that we did that, I raised money for Cook Children's Hospital in Fort Worth, where I was born and raised. And so we donated $5,000 to Cook Children's.
Wow.
Which, I think it's pretty cool. And something that kind of started as almost like a gimmick, ended up turning into something that, actually did some good for people other than myself, because that was not a good experience for my stomach.
$5,000? Yeah. Oh, man. That is amazing. Well, there you go. All right. So we're going to be drafting together because we're in a Best Ball Mania 2 draft. I think this is the first of the season, guys, that we've ponied up, did the $25 entry, did the Best Ball Mania 2 draft, and we're going to be drafting kind of sort of together. But you know what, Matthew, man, I'm just kind of sort of like, you know what? Let my guy handle the reins. So you really will be making the vast majority of the picks, maybe like in round 17 or 18. If there's like a deep sleeper I really, really want, maybe I'll just jump in or something. But
no. This is bad. This is a bad idea. I want there to be some sort of like mutual, like we both turn our keys to fire the missile.
Well, maybe there will be a little bit of that, but this is what I find. When you're co-drafting together, which it can be fun, and it's a lot of fun, obviously, kind of to talk through your picks, as we see CMC, Dalvin Cook, Zeke Elliott go 1, 2, 3. But that being said, sometimes you lose that overarching, theme that you want to have on your roster. You know what I mean? Like when you're talking about roster build, and like you just kind of sort of need to have a shared vision. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure if talking through it together will result in that, but maybe, who knows? I don't know. We're on the clock, man.
We're on the clock.
What do you think?
Okay. Well, how many tight ends do you want to have in general?
I am usually of the wait on tight end crowd, but I'm down for whatever.
Okay. Let's go with Davante Adams.
Love it. And by the way, as you guys all know, if you can guess my pick on any of these rounds, you will be entered into a drawing for a free $25 entry into this very contest, Best Ball Mania 2. So again, we're giving away multiple entries here, guys. It's like, $25. It's free. All you got to be doing is watching, following my YouTube page, and then guessing the pick. So just let me know, and we'll get you all squared away. All right. So Davante Adams, our very first pick. Travis Kelce goes right after that, Freedman. I have a feeling those were the two guys you were kind of sort of thinking of with that 1.6 pick.
Yeah, I think so. And so for me, roster construction or the way in which we kind of allocate resources is a little more important than the players that we're focusing on. So, okay, for people who aren't familiar, it would be good for us just to kind of run down through all of this. The number of rounds that we have in these drafts, how many is it? It's 18, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So for that roster allocation, I'm typically thinking we want, like 9 or 10 wide receivers, probably 4 or 5 running backs, 2 to 3 quarterbacks, 2 to 3 tight ends, and then we kind of start to narrow in from there. But I'm comfortable going with fewer running backs than people would maybe want to go with. So I'm thinking we maybe in the coming rounds hit running back a little bit more.
So you're thinking more of, along kind of like a hero RB, not zero RB, but certainly when you're talking about just rostering 4 or 5, there's got to be 1 or 2 that you feel extremely comfortable with.
Yes, that's the premise here. And when are we on the clock next?
We've got we're up next, so we're on deck here.
Okay, all right. So out of the running backs we have available, I like Jonathan Taylor quite a bit. I understand there might be people who are a little uncertain about him given the offensive situation, but I'm fine with Taylor or with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Do you have a preference out of those 2 guys?
I think both are in great situations. I think I just love Taylor here because, man, you are getting such a discount. And really, there might not be anything to it. You know what I mean? The Quentin Nelson news.
Yeah, let's go with Taylor.
He could be back. So Taylor's going to be the pick. And honestly, we got a pretty damn good discount on Jonathan Taylor, did we not? Getting him in the middle of round 2?
Yeah, I think we got some pretty good value there, considering that, a couple of weeks ago he was going in round 1. And that offensive line could still be pretty good. I'm not all that worried about Carson Wentz, to be honest. Whether he does or doesn't play, I don't know how much that impacts Jonathan Taylor.
Well, I mean, you would think, I get it, but at the same time, you would think that Wentz is a significant upgrade from like Jacob Eason and Sam Ehlinger. You would hope. You know what I mean?
He probably is. But we don't know that for sure. And even if he isn't, I don't know how much that would impact Jonathan Taylor anyway.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so we've got our hero RB situated here. We've got a stud wide receiver in Devontae Adams, kind of a last dance situation there in Green Bay. So now round number 3, what position group are you looking to target? Is this still going to be, again, if your roster construction is just 4, maybe 5 running backs, I'm assuming you're still thinking running back here, or am I wrong?
Well, maybe, but I mean, if Darren Waller is still on the board in round 3, which I don't think he will be, but I mean, if he is, I feel like that's an automatic draft.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and he's gone. He's gone now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So at this point, I would like to get your thoughts on that, running back dead zone that we are going to be entering into. So J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Swift. Right. I'm not really interested.
Me neither.
In these guys.
So
I'm very happy pivoting away from these running backs here, and then going with. I mean, there are going to be some great wide receivers who fall down to us here. It feels to me too early for quarterback. I don't know what your feelings are on the quarterback position. I'm very fine waiting. So I'm thinking here it's probably wide receiver.
Okay, well, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Robert Woods, Tyler Lockett still on the clock here, and we got about 15 seconds to make the pick.
I think Keenan.
I think Keenan's kind of an auto pick for me here, honestly.
Go for it.
Falling here to, again, middle of the 3rd round, I think we just got tremendous value across the board with Taylor falling to us in the 2nd and then Keenan falling to us in the 3rd.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we're talking about the clear-cut number 1 wide receiver on an ascending offense, at least we believe, right? Justin Herbert, the Chargers, I think they're going to be moving the ball pretty extensively. And plus, they're playing in a wide-open division that's going to require a lot of passing and a lot of points, too, which I really, really like.
Yeah, and I like the idea of Justin Herbert this year. I don't know if we actually want to end up drafting him, but it gives us the possibility of drafting and stacking. So
yes,
I'm happy to have him there.
When it comes around to us in the 4th round, I do wonder, will Justin Herbert fall to the 5th? That will certainly be, I think that's got to be part of the decision-making process here in the 4th round. But, again, we can attack other positions too.
Okay. How many quarterbacks? Who's available at quarterback?
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Kyler. Yeah. You know what? Justin Herbert's definitely falling.
Yeah, a lot
he's
of
definitely
guys
falling.
still available.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is still there too, and I think a lot of folks are in on Rodgers this year too.
Yeah. So let's look at some of the running backs available here. I mean, this to me feels pretty nasty. I would be fine. I would be fine waiting another round.
The folks who know me know that I am absolutely in love with Darrell Henderson. And if this was just me, if this was just me, that's who I would be looking at in this range. But certainly I think the number of wide receivers available too look really, really enticing. Ayuk, Jamar Chase, Adam Thielen, Deontay Johnson, all these guys, certainly studs.
Okay. Well, we are up in 2 picks, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I am thinking right now, if I had to make the pick, I would go either DJ Moore or Darrell Henderson. So out of
Henderson
those
just went.
2. Okay. Henderson just went. All right. Then now I'm hoping DJ Moore is on the board for us.
I think he will be. Talk to me about the thought process here for DJ Moore. It does look like I would be shocked if he goes here, but
yeah, I mean,
why DJ Moore in Carolina?
You know, he's the only wide receiver in the league with back-to-back seasons of 1,200 yards. He's still just 24. That offense could be better this year with Sam Darnold than it was last year. So,
it will be 100%.
You know,
yeah.
I see significant upside and not much downside with DJ Moore. So I want to take a shot with guys like him.
I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so now I guess my only concern with DJ Moore would be the kind of I don't know, the pre-camp, training camp emergence here of Terrace Marshall, who I think is just a fantastic player. And I think red zone opportunities will continue to be a concern for DJ Moore as well. It's kind of sort of like I'm torn on him. I think he's got a very fair ADP, is what I'm saying. I don't think you're getting great value, but at the same time, I don't mind the price either.
That's fair. And Terrace Marshall, I should say, I also like him a lot. Like, I think we could do a lot worse, and this is going to sound really weird, but like we could do a lot worse than grabbing Robbie Anderson and then grabbing Terrace Marshall and getting Sam Darnold late. Like, if we were able to pull that off, if we pulled that off, I would be very happy.
That's an interesting strategy. It's a cheap stack, that's for sure.
Yes.
And it's a stack that I don't think a lot of folks are kind of sort of targeting. But now that we've got DJ Moore in the fold, it's certainly something that's on the table. So I kind of sort of like that too.
And what I like about Robbie Anderson in particular is that out of all of the receivers last year, he was highly targeted on first reads. And, like that's a statistic that we have in our FTN data package. But he was top 5 in the league last year. I believe he had over 100 targets as the first read on a play. So,
wow.
Like, he's very incorporated into the offensive plan. And so, like, it wouldn't surprise me if it's not DJ Moore, if we do see Robbie Anderson have a pretty big year this year.
I just wonder too, Matt, if Carolina will mix up where these guys line up. You know what I mean? Because we just saw DJ Moore line up outside. I mean, a ton. Whereas it kind of sort of makes sense to kind of have these guys get a couple layup throws here and there. Maybe DJ Moore plays out of the slot a little bit more. Maybe Terrace Marshall can kick outside. We know Robbie Anderson can kick outside too. Maybe he gets a couple of downfield shots as well.
Let's take a look at some of the tight ends on the board right now.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Well, Kyle Pitts is certainly interesting. Mark Andrews, people love. Logan Thomas is going to get good volume just like he did last year.
I am very interested in Logan Thomas. Sorry, let me rephrase that. No. I want Mark Andrews. Like I misspoke. I want Andrews out of the tight ends on the board.
Yeah. Okay.
Andrews is my number 1, but I could be talked into Pitts if you are into just wanting to take a shot on the upside.
Man, I've got so many shares of Pitts. I'm more than happy to take a shot on Andrews. Although I got to be honest, it feels a little early for Mark Andrews at this spot.
Okay.
Although, and I feel like we could stretch that if we wanted to. Still a lot of great quarterbacks too on the board. Good Lord. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray. So this is a group that certainly is going to be waiting on quarterbacks. So that's something.
Yeah. Let's look at the running backs again here.
All these guys do not interest me.
Okay. I would be fine waiting a little bit longer on running back. Let's look at wide receiver here. I mean, are you fine going Robbie Anderson here? I
am, actually.
Okay.
I like this plan. I like this plan a lot, actually. I'm kind of digging it, man.
Yeah, let's stack here.
I dig this plan. And it's funny, too, because I don't know about you. I certainly did not come in to this draft with that game plan at all, but it's kind of sort of how the draft has fallen to you right now, and it is interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, I want DJ Moore all over the place. So having the Panther stack is something that is always in the back of my head. Not that it
Yeah.
works out that often, but I mean, the DJ Moore experience is something I very much want this upcoming season.
Well, we just saw Hawkinson go off the board, which, again, in my opinion, is interesting because taking him ahead of Kyle Pitts, Mark Andrews, I don't want to say it's curious, but because we know that he's going to see some targets there. But golly, man, Kyle Pitts and Mark Andrews, who just went off the board, unfortunately. I guess I was wrong, man. I thought it was early, but I guess not.
No, because the tight end position, it feels like it can thin out pretty quick. But yeah, we're in the midst of that tight end run here. I would hope that Dallas Goedert makes it back to us because I'm very fine taking Dallas Goedert here.
Yeah, Philadelphia targeted the tight end quite a bit. I think they were top 5 in terms of, I'll say top 10 in terms of tight end targets last year. Obviously, going to be a different situation there in Philadelphia, but you would think that Dallas Goedert would be a critical part of that offensive game plan.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like he could be their number 1 pass catcher this year. And that's nothing against Devontae Smith, but, he's unproven. He's dealing with an injury. Jalen Reagor is unproven. Dallas Goedert, I mean, he's a pretty studly player. So I would be very happy to get him here.
Well, we got 2 picks to go. I'll just go ahead and queue them up just in case. And again, there are some other options too. When you're kind of sort of taking a look at the board here. Mike Williams dealing with that injury, but again, if you were thinking about Charger stack, Mike Williams is certainly interesting too.
I would be up for let's grab our tight end and maybe Mike Williams makes it back to us.
Let's see. I think he will. I think the injury news will scare some people off. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's very possible. And even if it doesn't, we've already got 4 wide receivers I feel pretty comfortable with here. If Williams makes it back, that's awesome. If not, I'm not too worried about our wide receiver position at this point.
Well, Mike Williams went literally 1 pick after us, so I think I think people are in on this. You know what I mean? So this is interesting.
All right, so I think now let's look at our running back position. Okay. Out of the players available, are there some guys who catch your eye? Like, how do you feel about, Mike Davis, first year in Atlanta, Javonte Williams is a rookie, Sermon is a rookie. Any thoughts on these guys?
The thing for me is that I guess I'm surprised by Trey Sermon's ADP. It looks like Raheem Mostert, could be winning that starting job there in San Francisco. But there've been a lot of drafts, Matthew, where I actually grabbed both of those San Francisco running backs just because I believe in the Shanny system that much. And in best ball, you don't have to worry about who's starting, right? And one of those 2 guys is going to pop off at a decent clip. So that's kind of why I've been grabbing that entire San Francisco backfield.
Yeah, man, I understand the logic. I feel actually a little bit better about that plan in season long where you can drop guys, but in something like this, with a tournament, I think I just wanted take a stance on a guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think in a tournament play, it doesn't make any sense to hedge your bets.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Go full out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. But in these other best ball leagues where it's more of just a 12-man, you know what I mean?
I can
it's either first or nothing. It makes a little bit more sense there, but in tournament play, doesn't make any sense.
Did Damian Harris Damian Harris is still there. Okay. What do you feel about Damian Harris?
I think he's going to be a stud. I really like him, and I tell you, he's a hell of a good player. I just worry about the pass catching role there in New England. That's my only thing.
Okay, I think we should grab Damian Harris.
I like it.
I think he has. Obviously locked in as the lead runner. I think he has
Yes.
more pass catching ability than people think. And even if it doesn't happen, he might have more touchdown upside if Cam Newton doesn't keep the starting job.
It's so interesting to me, man, because it's like we don't know anything about Mac Jones, and Mac Jones might not be great at all. He might be a league average player, but it's just so much more interesting to think about the Patriots with a new quarterback versus what we saw last year with Cam Newton, and we know what we're going to get there, which is something that's not that great, you know?
Right. Absolutely.
Well, Herbert just went a couple picks after us. That's slightly unfortunate, but that's okay. I think we're kind of sort of all in on this Carolina deal right now.
Yeah. How do you feel about Russell Wilson?
I like him. I mean, how do you not like him? You know, I
Yeah.
think Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers as quarterbacks. I think they make a lot of sense. If Sam Darnold's going to be our second quarterback, I think that makes a lot of sense too.
Mm-hmm. If you can click on QB so we can see some more of the guys on the board here. Okay. I would be fine. I'm kind of fine waiting on the
I'm
position.
kind of fine waiting too.
A little bit.
We're not necessarily, stacking any of these guys, and quarterbacks like Ryan Tannehill, Matt Stafford, I think are going to provide really really solid weeks every now and again. And again, if the game plan is to kind of sort of stack Carolina, Matthew, I mean, hey, listen, we're playing with a little house money here,
Like I'm fine being a little, I don't know, a little belligerent in the way that we approach this. Like I'm fine like Jalen Hurts, I would be fine going with Jalen Hurts. I think he has a ton of upside. And then Sam Darnold. And then are you willing to take a stand on Taysom Hill versus Jameis Winston? Do you have any thoughts on?
I'm completely out on New Orleans quarterback situation. I think they're just going to go full on, old ball coach, Steve Spurrier style, and just go two quarterbacks. I think Taysom Hill might get in there, in a lot of goal line situations, and I'm just not. Yeah, I'm not interested in the New Orleans quarterback situation.
Okay.
What's your stand on it, though? I want to hear your take, man.
I'm a little bit on Taysom Hill. In part because of the Michael Thomas news, but if it's Taysom Hill, he's being paid more money. He was the guy who started last year. If it's him, we know the upside that he has in that system. Like we know he could be a top 5 quarterback in the Tim Tebow type of way, not because he's actually a great player, but because he has all that rushing ability. And then maybe he's a better passer than we think. So I'm fine waiting a little bit, at quarterback. At running back, what do you think of AJ Dillon?
I like it.
Do you think it's too early?
I do think it's too early. If we're going running back, I would prefer Raheem Mostert, just because again, you're taking a stand in that San Francisco backfield.
All right, go with Mostert.
that pick pains you a little bit. See,
I want those legs.
You a little bit.
Those big, sexy AJ Dillon legs. I want them on my roster.
Oh yeah.
But I'm good with Raheem Mostert here. I'm fine with that.
Look. I will say this. Dillon's going to get work, right?
Yeah.
It's inevitable, right? Jamal Williams out the door. Green Bay and LaFleur has consistently shown that he is not going to go to a workhorse back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even when he was the OC in Tennessee, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like he limited Derrick Henry's touches, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? So Dillon's going to get work. It's probably going to be something like a 60-40 split with Dillon taking a smaller piece of the pie. And obviously the upside is there should chaos reign in Green Bay's backfield as well.
All right, so let's look at some of the quarterbacks again, because I think, if Jalen Hurts is available, I like the idea of stacking him with Goddard.
It's a good call.
Do you think this is too early to go with Hurts?
Well, we could look. We're up in about a few picks here, but we could take a look at the board.
We are in round 9 now, right?
Yeah, we're in round 9. And everyone around us has already kind of sort of taken a quarterback. It's the first. Nope, everyone's taken a quarterback. I think we're either one or two of the few teams that has not. Yeah, there's teams 2 and 3 have not taken a quarterback, but everyone else, and team 11 has not taken one either.
Okay. So let's look at at the player pool again, and I think maybe we wait one more round
Okay.
and a quarterback falls to us there that we're comfortable with. I think let's go wide receiver here. If you're fine with that. I feel decent
100%.
enough.
100%. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel decent enough with our running backs right now. Now, out of like Elijah Moore, Michael Pittman, like some of these guys on the board,
Yeah.
Rondale Moore even, do you have a preference on any of these guys?
I'm 100% in on Elijah Moore this
Okay.
year.
Okay.
I just
I'm
love
with
him,
you.
know?
I'm
Yeah.
100% with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
There you go. Great. We're in consensus, baby. We're in consensus in round 9. I like it. Elijah Moore on the squad. This is a very good-looking wide receiver room, right? Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Elijah Moore. This is, we got some upside here, baby.
Yep, I like it.
Okay, so we are going now into round 10. Sam, Chowdhury asked, does the quad injury concern me? I mean, it does. We still got a ways to go before, week 1 starts. And quite honestly, if you look at our roster construction, does it even matter if he starts week 1?
Right.
I think that pick is more of a, hey, listen, let's hope the kid develops into a stud, into a superstar, weeks 10 and later. If you kind of look at how we've kind of, constructed the roster, but I'm actually not that worried about it, even in season long. I'm especially not worried about it in best ball.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% there. Let's look at some of the tight ends who are available. So Logan Thomas looks like he just went off the board. So still some tight ends here who intrigue me. Do you normally
We've
like
got
to
Goddard.
go? Yeah, do you normally like to go with 2 or 3 tight ends?
I think with what we have, I think 3 probably makes more sense.
Okay.
We don't have that stud. I mean, unless you view Goddard differently, and you may, but I think Goddard does come with some built-in risk with Zach Ertz as well. So, again, the upside is certainly there, but he's not a lock, in my opinion.
Yeah. I hear you. I think I'm probably more bullish on Goddard than the consensus. So if we wanted to go with a 2 tight end build, I would think it's risky, but like I would be okay with assuming that risk. But we do have some flexibility here with where we are. So I think there's a shot here that Jalen Hurts falls back to us.
Yeah.
So the tight ends on the board. The quarterbacks on the board. Let's see who's still available. This is great.
Well, it is starting to thin out, though.
Yeah, I think this is great. Hurts fell to us here. I think we're getting him at the exact right spot.
Yeah, I agree. I think, when you take a look at the board, it is thinning out extensively.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our quarterback
position here.
Yeah. I think so too. We've got, a decent, collection of running backs. I love Jonathan Taylor, obviously following to us in the middle of the second round. And then of course the strength of this team built on the wide receivers right now.
Yeah. 5 wide receivers. I think we're in a really good spot there. There's still some really interesting quarterbacks on the board for us to take. And then running back, I think probably just take 1 or 2 more at the position and, hope that we end up hitting on one of those guys outside of our hero.
Right.
Do you have any preferences on the running backs who are available in this range right here? I'll just say, I think Gus Edwards just went off the board. That would have been a guy that I wanted in this range.
That's not bad. Again, another player that is going to get work, in a run-heavy scheme that they, deploy in Baltimore. So, but yeah, no, he is off the board now. The only other player, man, I love Nyheim Hines. It's too early for him here, but, again, he's a player that I am interested in. If you like that, that system where someone's going to get work, Jamal Williams certainly fits that bill too.
Mm-hmm. What about Latavius Murray?
Oh, that's interesting. I always gloss over Latavius Murray. I do, but you're right. No, he's a really, really good pick.
Like he's in that range of like guys we know who's going to get work, a little bit like AJ
Yeah,
Dillon-esque. But
right.
then if it ever happens that Kamara gets injured, Latavius could totally explode.
Yeah, no. It's 100% true. And for whatever reason, he's one of those players that I just always seem to miss. Even when I'm just looking at him straight in the face. But yeah, no, he's in a great spot. He's in an absolutely great spot.
All right,
and
I
you
think
know
let's
that
do
they're
it.
gonna, yeah, and you know that they're gonna run the ball quite a bit. They've got quarterback issues. They've got wide receiver issues. Where's the strength of this team? It's clearly running the rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna have to be, whether it is or not. It's gonna have to be.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm good. I think with the with the running back room that we have, and then if we see a player who's falling and we think we maybe want to grab him and have 5 running backs,
Right.
then I'm okay with that idea. But I think from here on out, I'd like the idea of just really attacking wide receiver and finding our tight end and then supplementing with quarterback.
A little bit of a little mini tight end run going here. Noah Fant, Adam Troutman, and Robert Tonyan. Troutman is such an interesting player to me because I know he did absolutely nothing last year, but there's so much target share opened up to him now that Jared Cook is gone. And again, it's obviously a slow developing position too. And this is a player, Adam Troutman, that is a converted quarterback, a good natural athlete. So I really like Troutman. I know we weren't thinking about him there, but I do like Adam Troutman for those of you watching the stream.
Yeah. And let's look at the tight ends who are on the board now. As you mentioned, we're in the middle of this run here. I'm liking Gerald Everett, Jonnu Smith.
Me too.
I'm fine with those guys. And honestly, I'm also fine with Jared Cook later. I know that sounds so weird, but
no. I'm in on that. Yeah, I'm in on that 100%. Yeah. You don't need to convince me. I know Jared Cook is of an advanced football age, but the dude can still play and he can still move.
Exactly. He's in that offense. He's with an ascendant second-year quarterback. It's
right.
I mean, I think he's going to do more or less, like on average, what he's done the past 4 years, and that puts him in the low-end tight end 1 conversation. So I'm totally happy having him there.
Yes. And again, a lot of it is a veteran tight end pairing with a young quarterback. I don't know, man. It just seems to go sometimes. And I know it's anecdotal. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I've read data on this or anything, but it just seems to make sense. And I kind of sort of like that idea.
All right. So I think we've
got 3 tight ends queued up here.
Yeah. I think we can wait on the tight end position with knowing that we're fine taking Cook a little bit later.
Right. Okay, so we are on the clock. What position group are you?
Wide receivers.
Yeah, let's look at the wide receivers.
What are your thoughts here? I'm fine with Jacoby Myers. I know that sounds weird.
No. I was just about to say very sheepishly, I really like Jacoby Myers. I do.
I think let's do it. Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. This is a player last year that once he got the starting gig became the absolute locked-in number 1 wide receiver. Now, he's not going to burn, right? Like the man ran a 4.63 40, right? But he is an ideal flanker. He's one of these guys that creates separation. And I just, no matter who is quarterback there, I think he is going to be the number 1 wide receiver in that offense like he was last year, despite not starting until week 8 or week 9.
Yeah. So I think from here, let's kind of look at the guys and just queue them up, the guys we would be fine taking.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So do you have thoughts on Randall Cobb?
I think he's going to split some time with Amari Rodgers. I probably don't like either one.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I do.
All right. So what are your thoughts on Watkins or Hilton?
I like Watkins, especially in this format. Hilton is also intriguing.
Let's put St. Brown on there.
Oh, please, God, yes.
Yeah, because I think he has a real chance of leading the Lions in targets. Which
I think he's going to.
Yeah. So that's not
Yeah.
especially sexy, but I mean, he's got a lot of potential.
Oh my God, I love Amon-Ra St. Brown in this offense with that quarterback. I just
Hmm.
think it's going to make all
Yes.
the sense in the world. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to really have a nice season, man.
Yeah, I think he's playing in the slot. I think he's going
Hmm.
he's going to be sort of like the Cooper Cup function within
Yes,
that offense.
that's exactly
Yeah.
my point, man. I
Yep.
think he's going to
Yep.
become Jared Goff's best friend. I really do.
Yes. All right. So let's look at those tight ends. So we are
Well,
in
we
a
just saw
situation.
we saw another tight end run
We
happen
saw a
there.
tight end run here. Do you prefer Ferkser or Cook?
I like both. I know that's not a great answer, but if I had to pick, I guess it would be Jared Cook. And the reason I say that is even at tight end, this is a man that can stretch the field. Ferkser, not so much. Plus, with Julio Jones in the mix, how many red zone opportunities?
Let's go Cook.
Yeah, how many red? Oh, okay. Well, he's queued up anyway, so it's good.
Yeah.
God, I was dilly dallying there. I didn't even realize I was on the clock. But yeah, no, I think with Ferkser, it's like how many red zone opportunities is he really going to see? Goal to go situations, Tannehill, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, Julio Jones. And as we know, Matthew, touchdowns are the lifeblood of these, later tight ends. So
Yeah.
I think the touchdown upside might be a little capped for Ferkser this year.
So let's look at the quarterbacks still on the board here.
Let's do it.
Okay. So we've got a ways to go to Sam Darnold.
Yes, we do.
So
I
think we're good.
If you wanted a 3-quarterback build, what are your thoughts on a Jalen Hurts, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Sam Darnold threesome?
I don't hate it, but I would rather go with Taysom Hill if Hill is still available later down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would assume he's going to be. Listen, he's going to be free.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Right.
He's going to go so late.
Okay, well,
I have to find him.
Well, he was further up. He was further up.
Okay, where did I miss him? Oh, there he is. There he is. Okay.
There he is. So I like Fitz. I'm fine with that, but I would rather wait a little bit and then just take the stand.
No, I like your plan
on Taysom Hill.
I like your plan, and I like your plan a lot. Oh, Amon-Ra St. Brown just went off the board.
That's too bad.
Which that hurts my soul. It does.
Yeah. I want him. I want him everywhere. He's
Me too.
He's one of the guys I really do.
Me too. Oh God, that hurts my soul a bit. Oh, Nyheim Hines went as well, but you know what? We weren't even looking at running back, so that's okay. But Hines is by the way, Hines is one of those guys too that I'm just like I've fallen in love with the idea of Nyheim Hines in that Indianapolis offense. So, But anyways, we will take a look at wide receivers 2 here. AJ Green, Paris Campbell go off the board. That's okay. Wasn't really interested. If we were thinking Detroit, I know it sounds crazy, but I don't know, man. Like Brashad Perriman, for whatever reason, it is interesting to me because Detroit's going to be trailing in a lot of games. Perriman, I think, did not look bad last year. And Jared Goff, if given a clean pocket, and I don't know, his offensive line looks really, really good, has shown a pretty good ability to throw a downfield ball too. So he is somebody that I think is being undervalued and is someone that I am interested in, especially in redraft formats.
Okay. Do you have thoughts on John Brown? Because
I love John Brown.
Okay.
I love John Brown, but can he stay healthy though? That's the question.
Yeah. I would probably go with Brown over Perryman, but there are the reports that he's not a starter at this point, and like that's the thing that kind of bothers me. So
yeah, the whole Bryan Edwards hype train right now is gaining a lot of steam, man. But we got 10 seconds. What are you thinking?
I would rather go with Brown than Perryman.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's
hope.
I'm an original John Brown truther, so I kind of
same.
Same. Go that way. Yeah.
Same. I'm with you, man. All right, let's take a look at some of these other. What other position groups you want to look at, dude?
I think we need to scroll further. So Deshaun Jackson, I'm interested in. Sorry,
yes,
I can't help it.
No apologies needed, dude. Trust me, I'm all in on that too.
Yeah.
I mean, if he gives you 2 games, it's fine. Like, that's all I need.
What are your thoughts on some of the guys here, like Nico Collins, Donovan Peoples-Jones, KJ Hamler? Thoughts on any of these guys?
KJ Hamler's an interesting one, although I think a lot of his snap share will be blocked by the return of Cortland Sutton. They play a very similar role. Donovan Peoples-Jones is very interesting, but again, a lot of his snap share is going to be blocked by OBJ. But if Odell misses time, my God, DPJ certainly looks like a very, very interesting player.
Yeah.
I have fallen in love with Van Jefferson too, but again, something would have to happen for him to see a lot more snaps.
Do you think that Rashard Higgins is ahead of Donovan Peoples-Jones?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
But I'm not following Brown's camp that closely.
Okay.
But from what I have seen, I think he's there. Yeah.
Okay. And then KJ Hamler, I think Hamler is going to be the number 3 receiver ahead of Tim Patrick. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
I just assumed Tim Patrick as the flanker because he had played, beautifully in that role last year.
Yeah. No, I think it will be the trio of Sutton, Judy, and Hamler.
Okay.
I think they drafted Judy and Hamler with that in mind of pairing them with Sutton, and then Patrick is the number 4.
That's interesting. Okay. I can buy into that. I it's not like I'm pushing all my chips in on Tim Patrick, for God's sakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I'm okay with some of these wide receivers that we have queued up. Are there any guys late that it's just like, okay, this is a guy, for one reason or another, you've really found yourself gravitating toward?
Golly, man. Josh Palmer to a degree, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what round are we in now?
I had to make that pick because we were running out of time and we are either going to take Taysom Hill or Deshaun.
Oh, my bad. I wasn't even paying attention there. Okay.
It's all good.
Okay.
It's all good.
Very happy
Deshaun
with
going
Deshaun
there.
Jackson.
Yes, me
Very
too.
happy
Me
with
too.
Deshaun Jackson there.
Me too. All right. Okay, so we are now entering round 16. So we've got 16, 17, 18. By the way, this draft is flying by. My God.
Really is. Okay,
Good
so
Lord.
let's look at the quarterbacks on the board to see when we think we might need to go there.
I kind of sort of think we should just do it now.
Okay.
Why wait,
Okay. Yeah. So let's I'm thinking let's probably go.
Because there's only 3 picks left, and if there's somebody super late that you're interested in, I'm sure they will be there,
Okay. So, I think let's go with Taysom Hill first.
Okay.
Because I think Darnold will be available later, especially because we have DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. I don't think anyone's really hungry to stack him. and that would really be, I think stacking would be the main reason why you would draft Sam Darnold.
Yes, agreed.
So, I think we go with Taysom here. And then I think maybe we go with Hamler and then go with Darnold in the last round.
I like it. Well, we'll get all those guys. I don't think I don't think those guys are going to go. And plus, too, it's like I'm a little bit less worried about people watching the stream and sniping us because it's awfully hard to be watching the stream and also be in this draft at the same time. So I feel a little bit better about that, which, by the way, has happened many, many times when we're doing these little $5 leagues. People can enter into the draft and also watch your stream live.
Yeah, it's a fast draft here, which is good. It's nice.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Hunter, Henry, Cole, Kmet, some late round tight ends there. Brian Pringle, who I think is actually a pretty smart pick in best ball when you're going this late. Again, we all want it to be Mecole Hardman, but maybe it's just not Mecole Hardman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Jerick McKinnon, I think another, again, when you're trying to, go best ball here, running back position late. Why not attach yourself to a great offense like Kansas City, just in case? Oh my goodness, I cannot believe KJ Hamler went. I really can't.
Yeah, he's. I think people who are looking at it are into his upside. Because he does have that potential. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm surprised because it's kind of like, again, you're just thinking like Tim Patrick has to completely step aside for that pick to pay off, right?
I don't know if that could happen or if just either of the other 2 guys gets injured, but I mean, Hamler was drafted in the 2nd round. Like, I think he's got the inside track to that number 3 job.
Okay. I like it. All right, so what are we thinking here? We have to pivot. We got 30 seconds left.
I think let's go with Taysom Hill.
Okay.
Like he's someone I want to have a flag on. So
Okay.
very happy to get him there.
I like it.
It's not as if like there's all that much strong stacking of quarterback to running back, but we've got Taysom Hill and Latavius Murray. That's something,
It's something. All right, taking a look at this. I guess I can pull up. What do we got here? We've got 2 tight ends too, so I could pull up some tight ends. If you wanted to go with the 3 tight end build, I don't know what your thoughts are there.
If Ferguson is still available,
he is.
That is a little bit intriguing. Because I was thinking like Ferguson or Cook a few rounds ago.
Yeah. Right.
So if Ferguson makes it back to us, I wouldn't hate it. Although I do prefer a 9 wide receiver build to an 8 wide receiver build.
Right.
So
I'm good with that too, man. Listen, there's a lot of interesting wide receivers here,
Do you have thoughts on Dwayne Eskridge?
The question always becomes in Seattle, it's like how much of that pie is available, you know, between DK and Tyler Lockett. And this is assuming, by the way, Dwayne Eskridge gets onto the field, which I don't know. He may or may not. I don't know.
I think and Peoples-Jones just went anyway.
Right.
Okay.
DPJ just went.
This makes it easy. If Ferguson is there, I think we take him, and then I think we go with Darnold in the last round.
With the last pick. I gotcha. Any thoughts on like Van Jefferson or Josh Palmer? Palmer especially interesting if Mike Williams continues to struggle with health like he has.
That's true. Palmer is interesting. I think they did Sam Darnold. Someone just took Sam Darnold.
Oh my God.
We just got sniped on Sam Darnold.
How does that happen? How does that happen?
Unbelievable.
Wow.
How many? Okay, well, I think we go with Ferguson here.
Okay, we're on tilt now. Now we're just tilting.
I mean, I'm happy taking Ferguson here. We wanted Ferguson here anyway. So now,
sure.
So now let's look at the other quarterbacks available.
Well, Zach Wilson is there.
I was going to say, what are your thoughts on Wilson? Because we do have Elijah Moore. So I'm happy with the idea of being able to stack in that way. We also have John Brown. So we could stack Derek Carr with him.
Could.
So if you have any leans on that, I'm happy to hear that.
I'm still crushed over this Darnold pick. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just crushed on it. If I'm leaning any particular way, man, I guess it doesn't matter because Derek Carr just went off the board. I mean, I was gonna say Zach Wilson anyways, but golly, that's unfortunate. I'll queue him up though. I will queue him up.
Queue him up, and then let's look at some of the wide receivers available here.
Okay.
So
let's do it.
I think it's going to be. I can't get on the Van Jefferson thing with you. I'm sorry.
Hey, listen, I hear you, man. Oh, by the way, Xavier Jones going this late. Wow, that's a very crafty pick. I like that.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, no, I hear you, man. Like I said, things have to happen for him to get playing time and some decent target share. So no, I hear you, man.
Yeah. I mean, do you have any thoughts on Kadarius Toney? He just went off the board. Okay, good. Because I kind of didn't want to draft him. But, I always feel like he's a first rounder. I should at least mention him, but I never want Kadarius Toney on.
Not me neither. He's got bust potential written all over him for sure. I cannot believe Kylan Granson just went off the board as well. That is so interesting. Rando rookie tight end there in Indianapolis. Anyways, but okay, so we got our pick coming up here relatively soon. What are we thinking here, man? What you got?
I'm thinking Zach Wilson. We're locked in at tight end. Feel pretty locked in at running back. Let's look at running back one more time just to see who's available. But I think we're locked in at. Do you have thoughts on Tevin Coleman or no?
I mean, he knows the system. I think Michael Carter's probably going to be the starter.
Yeah, let's stay away from Tevin Coleman. I don't.
Okay.
But I think let's do Zach Wilson. I'm happy with that.
Okay. I'm happy with the 2. I'm happy with the 2, although I'm still on tilt. How does someone take Sam Darnold without a stack? Like, you're not stacking. You're not stacking.
I have no idea. That was not the best outcome for us, but whatever.
Come on, guys.
I mean,
what's going on out here?
It's very possible that Zach Wilson has a better season than Sam Darnold anyway.
Right. Oh my gosh. I need to look at this board. Who is this character that took Sam Darnold? Why would you do that to us? Sam Darnold. Okay, here's this team. Who does he got?
Did he at least have Terrace Marshall?
Tell me he drafted Terrace Marshall. No. Nope. Oh, he's got no one. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Wish that could have gone differently. You see what I mean? Even when you think everything is aligned, it's still hard actually to pull off the Darnold stack.
That's so funny, man. I'm like, come on, bro. Come on.
All right.
All right.
So
anyways,
our team.
Yes.
I don't hate it. So we've got Hurts, Taysom Hill, and then Zach Wilson. And then at running back, we've got Jonathan Taylor, Damian Harris, Raheem Mostert, Latavius Murray. For the hero build that has only 4 running backs, I don't hate that group. I think that's a pretty decent group that we have there. And then
I agree.
At wide receiver, I do like that group a pretty decent amount here. So we started off with Devontae Adams, and then Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Elijah Moore, Jacoby Myers, John Brown, and Deshaun Jackson. I like those guys. I think there's a lot of upside in that group there. I would have liked if we had gotten more wide receivers, but 8 wide receivers, I think that's a pretty good group for 8. And then closing it out with tight ends, Dallas Goedert, Jared Cook, Anthony Ferkser. I like that team.
It's great. I think it's a good team. I think there's enough variance built in too. When we're talking about tournament style play, you want a little bit of variance, man. And I think there's a little bit of that built in too, which is nice. It's a very interesting team, man. And certainly one that I'm happy to have drafted with you. We were simpatico on a lot of picks, which was nice.
Yeah.
Obviously we had a few little, areas where we wanted to diverge. But that could be nice too. It adds a little bit more variance to your roster. So that's not bad in these big tournament formats as well. All right, Freedman, do me a favor here. Let's take a look at this. Take a look at the draft board, and give me an idea of a team that sticks out to you where you're like, hey, either that was a curious build, or hey, you know what, this guy did a really, really great job.
I'm looking at the team that picked 12th. Mm-hmm. And so going with Austin Eckler, and then I think that's pretty bold to go with. Let's see, Calvin Ridley at number 4, but I like getting Ridley there. And he waited a while at running back, but going with Ridley at number 4 ahead of Hopkins, ahead of Metcalf. I like Ridley at number 4, but not everyone in the industry is there. So taking the bold stance on Ridley, getting Austin Eckler. I think Eckler has a ton of upside this year. And then waiting at running back, and then getting Michael Carter and kind of taking the stand of Michael Carter is going to be the lead back in that offense. Yeah. And it's, your zone blocking scheme, thinking that Carter has a ton of upside. If that actually hits for him, that could end up being a really great team. So going with the hero running back build, and then adding the players that he has there, that team is interesting. I do like, and he was the one who got Amon-Ra St. Brown, so automatically
good on him.
Automatically declare him the winner.
Oh man, he's going with a little chaos build too, right? Like Donald Parham is kind of the I guess the holdover from last year, but I guess he's, thinking Jared Cook either A, won't hold up, or B, won't be the starter.
Yeah, I don't like that, but I think Cole Kmet, Hunter Henry, I think there's some good value on where he got those guys. I would
Right.
have probably rather paired with another tight end there at the end. But
I do love his Xavier Jones pick, though. I do.
Yeah.
And again, you're building in a little bit of chaos, which is fine. But he's got Xavier Jones. I think does have some standalone value too, guys. I don't think the bottom line is in a Sean McVay offense, rookies don't do anything. They really don't. Right. And Jake Funk's a rookie. I think Xavier Jones is going to be the guy that's kind of sort of be next in line, going to get that 40% workload that McVay has run with his running backs as well. So we'll see. In terms of a team that maybe kind of sticks out to you and says, okay, probably would have gone a different direction. Is there a team out there that looks like, well, that was a curious one. If I had to throw one out, it would be team number 9. It's Paulus, Paul US or whatever it is. Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, David Montgomery, with Nuke Hopkins as their first 4 picks. Not that I hate those running backs, but golly, man.
Can we see what he did later at the running back position?
Sure. Zach Moss and David Johnson. And Kenneth Gainwell, too.
I think he went too heavy on running back, especially given that he started with 3 running backs in the first 4 rounds.
Right.
Yeah, I think just over indexed to that position. And then I got to say, I think he took 2 guys in that running back dead zone, which that just hurts my stomach. And
yes, it does.
Maybe they pay off, maybe they do, but just that is the wheelhouse where I would rather go with a wide receiver. I'd rather just go with another position.
Yeah, look at all the wide receivers in that range too. So many of them are way more interesting. DeAndre Swift, I think, is a fine player, but he's going to be in so many negative game scripts. And I know the offensive line is good, but again, that only matters if they're in a competitive, balanced, game. in these games when they're going to be chasing, is Jamal Williams going to be your check down guy? The role that he has had throughout his entire career, I think so. So I'm a little bit worried about DeAndre Swift, but you're right. He falls right into that little running back dead zone. And again, it's nothing against DeAndre Swift. It really isn't. I think he's a fine player, but I just worry about game script there in Detroit. That's all.
Yeah, more of the offense. And then, David Montgomery, Tarek Cohen is coming back this year.
Yeah,
and then, they added Damian Williams. Who's familiar with that Kansas City style offense. So, you have to assume that, as interesting as David Montgomery is and as great as he played in the second half last year, there's probably going to be some regression there.
I would agree. I don't think anyone had more backfield percentage touches than David Montgomery back into the season. Yeah. It was crazy. It was something like 90% of the backfield touches or something.
It was unreal.
Yeah, I just don't see that holding up there in 2021. That would be my thing. So Paulus, to me, I think, again, it could work out certainly, but golly, you're not. I guess he didn't help himself, is what I'm saying. I guess in terms of playing the numbers game, if just in my opinion,
Well, and also I feel we got to give an honorary shout out to the guy who drafted Sam Darnold. Not thrilled with what that guy did.
No, it's team number 4, Mumu 88. He drafted, who are his quarterbacks? He drafted Tom Brady, and oh my gosh, Tom Brady and Sam Darnold. Those were the 2 quarterbacks, eh? Boy, that's a tough build, man.
Naked Darnold, especially.
Naked Darnold and Tom Brady. It's like, golly, you're hoping Tom Brady throws for another 40 touchdowns if you're taking him and with not really protecting him anywhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At least he sort of did the stack. It's a weird stack, but stacked with Leonard Fournette and Gronk. But he didn't stack with any of the wide receivers.
No, he did not.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, that's tough, man. He's just kind of sort of all over the place here with his picks, honestly. I don't think he really thought about stacking. I don't blame him. A lot of guys don't stack. Yeah. And that's fine. But obviously it's kind of the preferred method within industry people, but a lot of people don't stack, which is totally fine too. A lot of people win a lot of tournaments not stacking, by the way. So it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so there you go. Some of the highlights from this draft, no doubt about it. But while we got you here, man, and that draft went super, super quick, I would love for you to kind of share what you guys got going on there at FTN and everything in the world of the Oracle.
Yeah, so just joined FTN the past month. It's been fantastic. We're building a great team, and the foundation that was laid there, especially by Elliot Christ as the chief operating officer there, just a fantastic all-around team. But working on content, I've had a series of upside players at each position coming out over the past few weeks, and then really just starting to gear up for the season. And one thing that's in particular that's kind of occupied some of my attention recently, I'm an advisor for a new DFS platform called Top Prop. With this platform, you can incorporate the leagues that you already have existing at ESPN or Yahoo. So like the leagues that you have with your family and friends, you can import or sync those up with Top Prop, and then also play weekly contests on Top Prop.
Interesting.
They will sort of set like the fantasy spread. So it could be like if you and I are in a league, we have a matchup and you're favored by 6 points, like Top Prop can sort of run that as a contest where there's now like a fantasy point spread between it where, we can play a game like that every week. So I think it's a pretty cool way to supplement the regular season-long managed leagues that people run with their friends and family.
Yeah, no doubt. I love that. I love that concept, by the way. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Where can people find your work, man? Obviously over at FTN. Tell people how to find you on Twitter and all those things.
Yeah, so on Twitter, you can find me at Matt F. the Oracle. I just got to say, it's not because I think I'm like really clever or prescient or anything like that. It's just it's old school. It's coming from the league, right? Like the league, the show.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Yeah, exactly. So in the pilot episode, there was the kid, Matt Freedman, who was the fantasy football Oracle. And so that's exactly.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So in the pilot episode, it's like, who's that kid? He just licked a hot dog. It's like, that's Matt Freedman. Like no wife, no kids, just pure football knowledge. So that show came out when I was, before I was in the industry, but, super obsessed with fantasy football. And so all of the guys I was hanging out with, like, they just thought it was hilarious. So,
that
like
is
kind
funny,
of mockingly, they called me the Oracle. So when I got in the industry and got on Twitter, all of the different iterations on Twitter of Matt Freedman, all of those were already
all of them are gone.
Yeah. So I just, kind of leaned into the fantasy football Matt Freedman thing and went with the Oracle. I like it. Yeah.
I love that. By the way, congratulations to our winners today. Sam Chowdhury won a couple entries here. Did he win three? Tell me if I'm reading this right. He won 3 entries? Is that correct? Wow, that's crazy. Gem City Gridiron won an entry, and then Washed Gamer Channel won an entry as well. That is very impressive. By the way, shout out to Sam Chowdhury, who has been so active watching these streams and doing all those things. So I for one certainly appreciate Sam Chowdhury being in the chats and being so active. So thank you there. By the way, you see it on your screen. It's the best deal in fantasy football. I've said this a million times. If you deposit $10 into a brand new Underdog Fantasy account, you will get a free 4 Pro subscription, plus you will get 25 Underdog bucks. Now think about that. You're depositing $10. You're instantaneously getting $25 back from Underdog. And then on top of that, you are getting a 4 Pro subscription. It is the best deal in fantasy football. And all you got to do is use that promo code BBL, as in Best Ball Live. And that's the show you guys have been watching here today. Matthew Freedman, how is before we leave, how is your stomach feeling after that insane run at the Waffle House? And then we will get on out of here.
It's feeling all right. I was pretty good. Waffles 1 through 7. Waffles 8 through 10 were the ones that really did me in. So the hours afterward weren't so great, but I've made a full recovery and eating solid food once again.
Good. I gotta ask you though, like, part of it is the waffles, but part of it's got to be just being in that seat for 17 damn hours though, bro.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, you can't stand up and walk around. You certainly need to stretch the legs, but I don't know. Like I guess I have this Zen mindset where
You must.
I can be
Golly.
anywhere for almost any period of time, and it can be fine with me. So like the length of time, honestly, if I had to do 24 hours and no waffles in Waffle House, I could do that. Like the time was not the challenge at all.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. That's interesting, man. Like I wouldn't be able to do it. I would just get too bored. Golly,
nah.
that's interesting though. Hey, but you know what, Matt, we appreciate you being on the program, man. It was a lot of fun. This one was a different kind of stream. You approached it very analytically, very intelligently, and we appreciate you joining the program today, man.
Thanks, James. Good fan. Nice to meet you. And let's do something like this again.
Yes, let's do it. All right, the great Matthew Freedman. I am James Koh. For everyone watching Best Ball Live, we will see you guys next week. Peace.